It is our responsibility as creatives to share our stories. But it is also equally important that we look and listen to the stories that other creatives are telling and sharing. It is through the understanding that while we have differences that draw us apart, we have just as many similarities that can draw us back together.
Welcome to the BDI Create Today podcast. This is a podcast where we uncover and discover the who, what, where, when, why, and how you can be creative or have more creativity. And together we'll explore the extraordinary impact creativity can have in your life, in heart, mind, body, and soul. And if we haven't met yet, I'm Beth Buffington, a licensed artist, digital illustration instructor, and a creative coach living just outside of the Windy City, Chicago. But mostly, I'm someone who is curious about how creativity can weave its way into nearly everything in our lives. Each week, we are going to look at one or more of the sparkly facets that make up the ever-changing kaleidoscope that is creativity.
Hello, my creative friend. Welcome to another episode of Create Today with Beth Buffington. This past weekend, I was reading a book to my grandson, Sam, and the book was called Caves, and it was written by cave explorer Nell Cross-Beckerman, and it was beautifully illustrated by Kaylin Schuck. And now this book was gorgeously written and illustrated, and it was all about exploring caves. The book was rich with information about the rock formations that you'll find in caves and the amazing caves that you can explore throughout the world. It gave incredible facts for each of these caves about what makes them unique and fun to explore. And in the book, there was a beautiful spread illustrating ancient artwork that has been found in caves. I was especially intrigued when the book explained to my little listener, Sam, that these drawings were made way before there was even an alphabet. So there was no way for the artist to leave a signature to say who drew this. But people being people, these ancient artists wanted others to know that after this art was done, that this drawing was their story. So as all creative people do, these cave artists figured out a clever way to leave a visual signature that said, I did this. So the artists figured out how to put powdered color into a reed, and then they would place their hand on their finished art and then blow that colored powder over their hand. Their hand would be acting like a stencil that would then leave their handprint to signify, I drew this. My grandson, who is 4, listened intently to this page. I asked him what he thought the cave drawing meant. And at first he said, it's a horse. And then he paused for a moment and said this. The person was drawing their memory of when they saw horses. And I paused for a second then and thought, wow, what a great mashed up word, rememory. This was half memory, the act of thinking about an event that happened in the past, and also half remember, the act of physically recalling an event to possibly share as a story. And in this case, it was a story about a drawing of a horse that was beautifully illustrated on a cave wall. So, rememory, I love it. Today, we are remembering our past and considering how we should tell our stories through our memories, through our creativity. So how can we tell our stories so that they will stand the test of time? Because our stories are important. And someday someone will look at our creative story and understand what was important to us as illustrated through our creative voice. This creativity can come in many forms: art, music, literature, sculpture, ceramics, fiber. The list goes on and on and on. Now, I loved the visual signature that was left behind these cave artists. Through the use of their hands, they left behind a stencil of their physical self. The story they told didn't need language to translate. The creativity and the story it told rose above language, but their message was clear. It didn't need to be spoken. And that's one of the beauties of creativity. It can be shared around the world and throughout the ages without being spoken or having to be translated. What a gift. What a great rememory, right? It doesn't actually matter the kind of creativity you practice, no matter your creative passion, no matter where you live in the world or what language you speak, creativity can be just felt. This makes me think that really all creativity is a diary that we create that can reach through any language, stretch across time, and it needs very little translation. What we communicate, what we say with our creativity, it is said with our artistic, authentic voice. And when we communicate through this creative diary, we share what we see, we share what we feel, and we believe what we are sharing is important because it is what we're experiencing in our world. This creative diary is our story. And one commonality that humans have shared that has spanned the centuries, that speaks across cultures, across economics, across age, across gender, is our ability to share stories and our hunger to hear them. So creativity is it's kind of like a garden where we plant, tend, and grow our stories. And the harvest of these fertile gardens is our creative communication, our creative voice, the stories of what we have seen, what we have felt, and what we want to share. Through our stories, we turn our art, our music, our literature into actions. And we do this through the perspectives we see. We do it through the opinions that we emit, and we do it through the emotions that we feel. And then, my friend, it is our responsibility as creatives to share our stories. But it is also equally important that we look and listen to the stories that other creatives are telling and sharing. It is through the understanding that while we have differences that draw us apart, we have just as many similarities that can draw us back together. My hope with Sam's sweet little mashup word, rememory, is that we as a nation, as a world, can find hope in the stories we have to share and the stories that are shared with us. My hope is that through my stories, you will understand me. And my hope is that by listening to your stories, I will understand you. Will you pause today to share your story with someone? Will you pause today to listen to a creative story that is being shared with you? And will you take a moment to consider the perspective from those who are sharing their story? Will you listen to their emotion? Will you put yourselves in their shoes as they share what they see from their slice of the world? And can you do this if their shoes are different from yours? If their view of the world is not what you see? If their opinions are not what you think? Can you appreciate? Can you try to understand? If we can do these two small things for each other, one, share our stories, and two, work to understand the stories from others, especially those who have stories that are different from ours. Will our world be a better place because of the memories that we have shared? I think so. Be brave, my friend, and tell your story creatively and leave your handprint on your story so that tomorrow, next year, the next millennium, all will know you were the teller of this story. It's important to share our stories. It's important to listen to the stories of others. It's important to even understand, and even if we don't agree, to learn to appreciate the perspective of stories that are different from yours. It's through the telling, the sharing, the listening, and the understanding of stories that we as people remain strong and indelible throughout today, tomorrow, and all of history to come. Think about the story that is part of your rememory. Get busy with the telling of your creative tale. And no matter what story you are sharing today, stay creative, my friend. And now for a word from our sponsor. And that's me. The holidays, my friend, they're just around the corner. So do something you love for yourself. Gift yourself a little something. Learn to draw on your iPad with Procreate, but do it festively. Sign up for the super fun December workshop where we're going to learn to draw delicious Christmas cookies and then prepare them to be printed as gift tags to use for all the presents you'll be wrapping this holiday season, or consider giving these unique gift tags as a hostess gift or a stocking stuffer. There are so many great reasons you'll love this workshop. So hop on over to www.bdi-create.today and under menu up at the top right, choose events. It's going to take you straight to the registration page. And you can also find a live link to register for the workshop here in the show notes. So come and join me for a delicious event. It's calorie-free and it's a wonderful way to have some fun while you learn how easy it is to create with Procreate. Just go to www.bdi-create.today and register today for some festive fun with me here inside the Create Today community. I cannot wait to mix up some delicious cookies with you as we create today together.